Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival Reforged Eden. First of all, what the hell is Reforged Eden? Well, there's a video that I have done before that explains what is Reforged Eden, but suffice to say, it is probably the most popular scenario on the Steam Workshop for Empyrion Galactic Survival. Now, it is an amalgamation of two scenarios, Project Eden and Reforged Galaxy. Two creators, Vermillion and Leviathan, decided to put their scenarios together to create Reforged Eden. There we go. Going forward, Project Eden is likely to stop being an individual scenario, while Revian focuses more on Reforged Eden. Meanwhile, Vermillion has given me, thank you very much, Vermillion, by the way, given me early access to a early version of Reforged Galaxy 2. Now, there are a number of caveats for me showing you this stuff. This is incredibly work in progress. And a lot of the effects, sound effects, animations, whatever, and a lot of other things just aren't there yet. So mostly what I'm going to show you today are things like new models for weapons and stuff that are coming in Reforged Galaxy 2.0, which is going to be coming out sometime middle of next year, I think, 2023 next year, not 2024 if you're watching this just after New Year's. What you're seeing in front of me right now, for example, is the new base shield visualization. You actually get a shield bubble now around bases. Very faint in this light, unfortunately, but hopefully you can just about make it out. But for example, there's no effects if I was to shoot this bubble. Nothing would happen yet. So yeah, okay, we can look at that. It looks cool. I like it, and I think that on top of POIs is going to look awesome. And hopefully we're going to be able to get it for our bases too, and that will look pretty sweet as well. But just one of the little things that are coming to bases, for example. But over here, what I've done is I've arranged all of the blocks, all of the new weapons and stuff. Actually, tell a lie, not all of them, just the main ones. Okay, there's a lot, and there's ones for every structure type. So what you're seeing in front of us today are the CV ones, and then the little things behind are the SV ones. So we'll go through those in a minute. But just to give you a sort of flavor of the level of restructure that Vermillion is undertaking for Reforged Galaxy 2.0, you just get a load of these models, these assets that he's brought into the game. They are absolutely amazing, incredible. So there's basically 3 tiers of weapons now. He's redoing the whole weapon system so that you can apply basically simple limits to them and stuff like that. And he's trying to rebalance everything properly. I think basically he got fed up with Elion's weapon system, so he's just decided to rebuild it from the ground up. You get light, medium, and heavy weapon systems, and each are sort of limited to a certain number. For example, I think heavies you're allowed up to 4, whereas light is up to 16. So in the end, you'll all have a maximum set number of weapons on your ships, depending on what role they're going to run. Now, of course, CPU plays a big part in all of that, so you've got to decide on your ship's function, and I'm sure the master builders out there will no doubt figure out the most min-max ways of getting the highest firepower and shield strength and maneuverability out of every single piece of CPU out there. Speaking of CPU, these are the new CPU extenders for Reforged Galaxy, and they look fantastic. Really nice. They actually look like, Server X, so that's always a nice thing. You've actually got like 5 tiers of CPU now. I don't know. Again, it's still work in progress, but we can have a quick look at the item menu, and it gives us sort of, a general idea of all the things that are coming. So, for example, you still have the basic and improved CPU extenders that we know from the vanilla game. But over on page 2 here, we got the advanced, superior, and quantum extenders, and this seems to take our CPU up to about 3 million, I think, in total. Just shy of, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when everything is rebalanced and all the CPU levels are rebalanced and stuff like that, I think it will be a fair old amount. One of the things I haven't brought into the base here is all the new thruster types. So you've got the standard thruster types, which are now ion drives, and then you've got plasma, and then you've got antimatter thrusters. And just to give you a point comparison here, the antimatter drive thruster gives you a force meganewtons of 504, compared to the ion drive thruster, which gives you 168. It's significant difference. Obviously, significant also in CPU, but there is a return on CPU if you replace like for like amounts of meganewtons with antimatter thrusters from ion, for example. So you can get CPU back by using the antimatter drives, is what I'm saying. And other things like the improved Wi-Fi here, which goes up to 150 meters. You know, there's no point in me putting on these blocks because they are all the blocks that we already know. They're not visually different. But then you got things like this, the plasma turbines. These replace the solar panels. So they reduce the amount of energy that your ship is drawing. And you can have a certain number of the larger ones and the smaller ones. You got the fusion reactors, which we obviously know from the previous version, but there is now a smaller version of it. Universal constructor, which is, I don't even know. It's a constructor that does everything, I guess. Does all the things. So you don't need food processors and constructors, it just does it all. The deconstructor model, which I think is in the current version of Reforged, but these models and stuff, they are looking absolutely amazing. A slight change to the shield generators, the high tier shield array generators, slightly different dimensions and shaping on those, but basically the same. Now then, the weapon systems, yeah, like I said, you get basically light, medium, and heavy. If we just concentrate on CV weapons, because otherwise we're going to be here all day, basically. You've got the standard vanilla stuff and the heavy weapons and stuff that we're already used to. Bearing in mind that Project Eden is not merged with this yet, so a lot of the Project Eden weapons that you might be expecting to see here, they will be here. But they're just not here because this is Reforged Galaxy, okay? So yeah, you got plasma cannons, railguns, cannons, laser cannons, and then you've got the dual versions of the same. And these sort of missile launchers, kind of vertical launch missile launcher type things, and then the triples, the heavies, basically. If you have a look at the little tool tip here, it says maximum amount 4 on the heavies, maximum amount 8 on the mediums, and maximum amount 16 on the lights. And then you've got a heavy positron cannon as well, which actually contributes to the heavies. Sorry, I should have just said that. So what we got here are the models. The little ones are the lights. The somewhat medium-sized ones, the mediums, and the big honking things are, as you probably guessed, the heavies. And they work like fixed cannons, although they look like turrets. They work like cannons. There is no way to really modify the way that turrets work in the game. So these will, a lot of this sort of stuff is for show, you know? They look like they would rotate and whatnot. They don't. They're fixed. You use them as you would fixed guns and stuff like that. Missile launchers are a little bit tricky and they're still being worked on. And then the big honking positron beam as well. We're going to go see all of this in action in a moment, but I wanted to give you a quick overview of all the different block types that will be coming to Reforged Galaxy 2.0. And then we've got the SV weapons down here, and these are numerous. Oh yeah, SVs are going to be taking a very prominent role in the new version of Reforged Galaxy. They have got a great variety of weapon systems available to them, from the heavy torpedo launchers down to the plasma cannons and Gatling cannons that we're used to, but maybe slightly bigger. For example, the Vulcan cannon heavy is this thing over here, which just looks freaking amazing. It's got a massive drum magazine on it. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to, and again, all the numbers and stuff on this like aren't quite there yet. So, you know, I'm not going to like fly them around and demonstrate them and stuff like that, but they just look amazing. I can't wait to see all the designs of SVs that are going to utilize these like underslung missile launchers, underslung bombs and things like that. They're straight off of helicopter gunships and stuff, don't they? Pod rockets and whatnot. It looks cool. Looks really dope. But yeah, the assets look really cool. Like I say, I look forward to. Oh, and I don't know if this is already in Reforged already as well. Actually, there's the new quantum storage for bases and CPU. So standard storage extension will give you, I think, 16 between the controller and the extension. The quantum one gives you up to 28,000, which is lovely. just one extension, 28 grand in that thing, so very much bigger. Let's pop up into space then. I want to show you guys some of the new weapons. So what I've done here is I've taken my Leviathan and given it a little bit of a makeover to kind of demonstrate a lot of the new engines and generators, and of course the weapon systems as well, sort of the CPU system. So I mean, this is all, so this is with the quantums on 3.2 million, and with all the weapons and stuff that I've got on at the moment, it's using 3.23 million. So it's a little bit under max CPU, and that's with 2 medium missile launchers, a bunch of standard turrets, and 2 of the big honking heavy laser cannons here, 2 light plasma cannons tucked away over there as well. And like I said, lots of little kind of standard GAT anti-drone defense kind of things as normal. Oh, and this thing at the front here, I just absolutely had to get that into the ship as well. So we've got one of those. Now inside, you know, it's mostly what you'd expect. So, you know, we've got shield capacitors tucked here, there, and everywhere. Otherwise, everything's pretty much normal. But a few little changes. If I just glitch through the walls here, you know, some of the plasma turbines here where generators were, and I've managed to utilize the small fusion reactor on the other side. And that seems to give just about enough power to get this thing moving. A lot of the thrusters have been swapped about for smaller variants of, so plasma instead of the large ion drives, for example. And these seem to give just about enough thrust to sort of mirror the ion drives power just about. And on the back as well, I've done some modifications just to downscale the thrusters that this thing has. And use the new plasma and antimatter thrusters to essentially get the same thrust with less CPU. And then tucked away underneath, I've got more plasma turbines and shield capacitors and stuff like that. So, you know, I've taken a vanilla build here and I've made it work in Reforged reasonably easy using the new blocks available. The CPU extenders are all tucked away in the ceiling and the walls here and stuff. So there we go. All right, so yeah, I've spawned in the Gladiator here as a sort of test target, as a crash test dummy, basically. Okay, let's jump into the Leviathan's pilot seat here. We've got available to us 2 medium plasma cannons, and they sort of fire off the little thing like that, and they look pretty much just like the normal plasma cannons do. As you can see. Not much change there, but I think they got a little nice little bit of brightness. And then we've got the honking great big lasers. Now the Gladiator is on 51% shields. It's got about 400,000 shields or something ridiculous, so it charges very slowly. But if we fire the heavy lasers, first of all, let me spin the camera around so you can actually see how the multi-barrel function works here. If I fire and hold the trigger, you'll notice that the beams swap between barrels, and then you get a constant beam. Took that down to 5%, just that short amount of fire. Took the shields of the Gladiator all the way down from 50 to 5%. And then we've got these missile launchers here. Now the missile launchers work a bit like kind of pod launchers, so you launch a bunch all at once and off they go. Now if I unlock the camera, just got to wait for it to reload a second, and fire them, then they actually track the incline that they're sort of set at, which is quite cool. They look pretty sweet like that. Now all of this is still being worked on, so I'm hoping that Vermillion can also get the missiles to alternate the barrels, much like the laser cannons do, and also get them to fire at their angle before then arcing down like tracker missiles do. And then we've got number 5, which is our positron beam, which is just like a scalpel. Now that thing takes it doesn't automatically reload at the moment, again work in progress, but that thing takes quite a long time to reload, and it's got a very, very short firing time. But if you've got 4 of them loaded up as your 4 heavy weapons, I can't imagine that many shields are going to hold up against it. Let's see, 15% shields, bam, 2% shields with 1 hit. So 4 of them are gonna do some serious work, and our positrons obviously do quite a lot of damage to both shield and hull. So yeah, that could be a an option for a you know, a fighter kind of Corvette style ship, but that's just 4 of the weapons that I decided to load up on the Leviathan here. And hopefully we'll get some like nice sound effects and stuff like that soon as well. But yeah, Reforged Galaxy 2.0, and then obviously Reforged Eden 2.0 once Vermillion has merged the two together, is going to be very different from what we're used to. I think we are going to be, you are finished, redesigning ships. Well, I'll be building ones from scratch, I tell you, because the Leviathan here was not built for this sort of firepower or CPU or thruster setup and things like that. As you can see, you know, this kind of split thruster, it looks a bit forced. It doesn't look right. All these ports are for the 2x2 front thrusters. These are by the 3x3 thrusters, but yeah, it doesn't really work right now, does it? So I think, to be honest, it will be redesigns for me with all the new stuff from Reforged Galaxy 2. You know, I've had to shoehorn and shield generators into the hangar bay here. I haven't even put any constructors in, so I'm doing well. But yeah, I just can't wait to see all the designs with these new amazing looking, I want to say turrets, so I'll stick with cannons, amazing new cannons that are coming along. Honestly, the fixed weapons are going to be crazy. The turreted stuff obviously still does exist. There's the sort of standard things, but it is not going to be, it's these things, they're going to take center stage. All the turrets are just going to kind of blend into the background, kind of like these ones do. You're like, whoa, look at those things over there, oh my god, and meanwhile there's like gats everywhere, and you're just like, what? Yeah, you don't notice them, do you? It's going to be interesting. But yeah, lots of redesigning, lots of refitting, which is standard, I think, for any new version of Reforged so far, has always been the case, but never on this scale, I think. So, new builds for me. There we go. I mean, there's a lot more coming that I can't show you right now, just because it is so work in progress. That, you know, hopefully this has given you a cheeky little insight into the work that Vermillion is doing. And I gotta say, I'm gonna show you that laser effect again, because that was freaking dope. Look at that. That's naughty. That is naughty. I don't know what to call that other than just naughty. But it's lovely, isn't it? It looks really cool. So you can get 4 of those things on there as well. You could say goodbye to any shields very, very quickly. But yeah, that's pretty dope. You could just look at that for ages. The way it switches barrels as well. Very nice. Very, very, very cool. There you go. I probably melted a hole into the ship now. I don't know. It's combat steel, so I doubt it. Then we got the missiles. Very cool. And then, of course, the thing I haven't reloaded yet. Okay, there we go. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you excited for Reforged Galaxy 2? What do you think of these cannon things? Do you like the idea of these big honking ships with the big honking cannons, rather? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. But that is it. I know, very short little video, that one, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.